What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a brand new video. Today we'll be going through the top 5 weapons right now in Battlefield 2042 after update 6.2. Some weapons have been nerfed, some weapons have been slightly buffed. It's more attachments that have been buffed, but the top 5 has definitely changed a little bit from the Season 6 update. Also, I'll be going through the attachments in this video so you right away know what attachments to use to make the gun as best as possibly it can be. I'll also have some honorable mentions because it's kind of hard picking the proper top 5. You might disagree a little bit with the order I'm placing them in, but the guns I'm all pointing out are definitely the meta right now to use. So let's get right into it. The first one might be a little bit of a surprise, but I had to put it in because the current marksman rifle, the G428, that used to be the best one, it is still very good, by the way, but I think we have a new marksman rifle king, and it's the M39 EMR. It has a 2-shot range of 40 meters. That is why I think it right now is better than the G428. It is a semi-automatic. The G428, you can put it in automatic fire. It has a little bit more recoil, so that way it might be a little bit harder to use, but it definitely is the better option right now, especially if you have a really good trigger finger. So for the attachments, there's not much you can do to this weapon. Personally, I really enjoy the 5x scope. The thermal is good, and the fusion hollow, because it works very well for close range, of course, as well. Of course, you want to be going with the extended mag. The laser I personally like, but it's pretty good right now using the grip as well. So these two options I would definitely recommend. And the tactical compensator, which makes the weapon have more accuracy and less spread, so you can spray it a little bit faster. However, this encourages you to be better at recoil control. And so if you struggle with the recoil control, do not use the tactical compensator, but switch it around to something else that might make it easier to control the recoil. But this is what I have been using on the M39ER. For the next gun, and this gun has always kind of been floating around in the top 5. It used to be number 1 at some point and number 5 at some point. It is the M5A3 on the Assault class. The old trusted assault rifle. You unlock it at the very beginning. It's kind of good at everything depending on what setup you're using. I have a very aggressive setup, but it's kind of good with the extended mag. If you go for a little bit of a longer range setup, it's kind of good at anything depending on how what attachments you exactly use on it. But definitely a very good weapon, definitely worth to put it in the top 5. So for the attachments, what I use, keep in mind this is the aggressive setup, is the fusion hollow close combat rounds, the laser sight, and the shortened barrel. This makes it have a rate of fire of 910. If you want to go for a little bit longer range setup, go for the extended mag and maybe switch up the short barrel to something else. You can also go with the long barrel, but it reduces the rate of fire even more. So it definitely switches up the entire way the gun pretty much functions. But this way it kills the fastest, and it's very good for close range combat to mid-range combat as well. For the number 3 spot, we have another AR, which just tops it off a little bit because of its range, and it's the GWR 46, or the GW46, sorry, excuse me, that's not the right name. GW46, it came with Season 5, I believe. Yeah, Season 5. It is very nice to use right now, especially if you have unlocked the Battle Pass skin. And you add a fusion hollow. It turns out to be a little bit more of a cleaner fusion hollow than it previously was. So what I'm using here on this weapon is the fusion hollow with the skin. This is the skin that spiral out, I guess. If you use the fusion hollow, it changes up the skin a little bit from the fusion hollow itself, so it looks a little bit more cleaner. Then I have the standard issue rounds, and you have the high power extended as backup. Always make sure you have some backup rounds going on. BCG light grip and tactical compensator to make it as accurate as it possibly can be. For the number 2, and it's my personal favorite, it is the PP29. The well-trusted SMG, definitely the best SMG in the game. It has low recoil, has a bunch of bullets, 64 bullets in one mag. So especially if you're a little bit more of a farmer that likes to play aggressive, this is your go-to gun. You might have to lose gunfights against the faster rate of fire guns in this game, but it's so good at pretty much anything. And any other situation that I think it deserves the number 2 spot because of its versatility, I guess, of different ranges and the different ways you can use it, and a very basic setup. So what I use, literally Fusion Hollow and Standard Issue. That's all you use. I use the Rap Suppressor and the 6K U Suppressor as backup in case I want to go a little bit more stealth. Now for the number 1, this might be a surprise because they actually nerfed this gun. But I tried it out and it still is really good. The VHX D3, it is the Season 6 weapon. For the people that still don't have this gun tier 1, you can still, it's still very good. It has a little bit extra spread right now than it used to, but honestly, if you, especially on the map Redacted, this is probably still the meta gun. And I still think it deserves that number 1 spot in Battlefield 2042. For the attachments that I'm using, the Fusion Hollow, the extended, the BCG light grip, and the tactile compensator. I think if you're on PC or if you're struggling to control the recoil in general, the tactile compensator might not be your best pick. However, with the dice increasing the spread a little bit, having less spread with the BCG light grip and the tactile compensator definitely makes the gun still super accurate for longer ranges as well. The footage you're seeing right now is actually captured today when the update went live, so you can see the gun is still super accurate. I have a couple of honorable mentions. I'm not going to show the attachments, but it's definitely worth using them. The G428, the gun they nerfed, is still worth using. It is a little bit worse now. The M39ER, definitely the better marksman rifle to use, but the G428 definitely deserves a spot as well, somewhere in the top 5 maybe. Maybe not, definitely worth to give it a proper go. The AM40 in the Soul class, it's kind of the little brother from the M5. I personally actually like the AM40 a little bit more, but it does require a little bit more of a more aggressive playstyle, so you might not like it. The BSV from Season 1, still very good, and the RPT LMG, I still think it's the best LMG, and I think it's being a little bit underused, so give that RPT a go. Hopefully this video was useful. If it was, be sure to give it a like. Thank you for the ones that have been supporting the videos over the past week. The videos have been doing well, especially about 5 videos. So keep that support coming. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.